Somewhere beyond time and space, lost in the circuits of reality, a stoner comedian is trapped in the multiverse. Through some glitch in the matrix, they can still broadcast across dimensions. With each transmission, they connect with old friends and new, searching for clues, information, anything that might help them return home. Will they escape, or are they destined to host this cosmic talk show forever? Mandela, Effecting Your Internet Connection, and brought to you by KGL-TV and Time Machine Blueprints. This is Secret Time Travel Meeting presents.
Hey, what's up? This is Sean Wickens, beaming to you from the now, if you're watching this now, or from the past, if you're watching this later. Sean Wickens, stoner comedian, author, engineer of synchronicity is a cool new title I came up with. I've been reading this book lately, and we have two guests coming up, but I've been reading this book. Actually, I've been listening to it. I've been listening to the audiobook version of it, and it's called The Rigor of Angels, and it's kind of a smarter book than I'm used to. I'm challenging myself. You know, it's one of these smart books that's sort of an exploration into the mindsets of these three great thinkers, the philosopher Immanuel Kant, the physicist Heisenberg, and the author Borges from Argentina, who wrote a lot of like poems, but then also a lot of like science fiction stuff. And it's sort of just, I don't know, it's just a wild book. It just goes back and forth between all three of them and just sort of like their lives and the things they wrote and the things they thought about. And the book is the quest to sort of figure out the nature of reality, you know? And my God, it's so hard to sort of like pay attention to. I have to force myself to pay attention to, because it's just, my mind will drift while I'm trying to listen to it, you know? And, but it's got me thinking about, you know, because it's about three different thinkers from sort of three different times, and like a physicist, a philosopher, and a writer. It's just got me thinking, and it's about how they're sort of chasing down what reality is. And one thing it got me thinking about is about how, like, and we've all heard this, we've heard people say like, oh, we've never been so divided, right? And which, you know, on one hand I definitely believe, or I believe that more people are talking about how we're divided, and we have more access to more people saying things because of, you know, social media and the wider reach of media and stuff. But I also think that if like we all agree that we're divided, and then there's agreement. So we all agree that we're divided. So we're not divided necessarily about how there's something that we all agree in. We just all agree on something. So it's got me thinking about that. And it also has me thinking about how, you know, these three great thinkers that this one author decided to focus on, they're all sort of chasing down their own thoughts about the nature of reality. And my gosh, I don't know. Everyone talks about how we're living our truth, but we're really kind of also living our perceptions of what is truth, you know? And perception is reality. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You know, we'll hear from some other people in a little bit. I think maybe this is a good time. I know this is a little early on, but Kelly, can we see a cool little clip of something that you've been chasing down lately? Let's see an interesting clip of something, and then we'll bring in our first guest, Otis Galloway. I know we're going to some.
We're going to use an ordinary garden variety peach with its short, close fuzz and tender skin, and a regular regimental hairbrush with its rough, tough bristles, to prove to you that the man-sized Remington electric shaver will give you a close, comfortable shave, no matter how tender your skin, no matter how tough your beard. Look at this amazing demonstration. The Remington is so gentle that it can shave the short, close fuzz off a peach without harming its tender skin. And the Remington is so powerful that it can shave the bristles off a brush, bristles tougher than any beard. Remember the amazing demonstration of the peach and brush. For the close, comfortable shave you've always wanted, reach for the Remington electric shaver.
Wow, the future is now. Did you see that thing? It could shave an orange in a brush. I got to be honest. I really, when they showed it shaving the brush, I really didn't see it do anything. I don't know. I'm sure it did something, but video was a little low res back then, or maybe it was film transfer to video. I don't know how the past works all the time. Also, to be honest, I wanted to go to a quick commercial just because I made some toast before we went on air, and I didn't get to finish all of it, so I wanted to refuel, so to speak. I'm guessing sometime within the next 10-15 minutes, I think a weed brownie will kick in. So that's kind of exciting for me. Something for me to look forward to. All right. Our first guest, as I said, we had two, but you never know who, maybe someone else will pop in. You never know, right? It's always good to dream big and wish hard, Anyway, our first guest, Otis Galloway. I haven't talked to him in a little while, but we're going to talk to him now, and we'll see what he has to say about anything he wants to. There he is. What's up, Otis?
Hey, Sean. How's things, man?
Oh, it's wonderful. Sometimes it's wonderful. Sometimes. I was going to talk about this in the intro, but also one thing that I don't know. It's been a rough year in certain ways.
It's been interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it as well. There's been some good things privately, but there's also been wild things, publicly. But it's making me think that I'm due for a perspective shift, in a good way of, forcing myself to look at things a little differently and better. So that's something that I'm up to lately. How about yourself? What's on in your world?
I'm pretty much like that. I mean, I'm a few orbits around the sun. And as I do, I learn. It's like I love the thing I love is as I've gotten older, my mind has like a propensity for being more open.
Oh yeah,
and yes. As a result, I still retain that my Gen X cynicism, but at the same time, it's this wonderful things. Like you're mentioning, it does feel like it feels like part of the time it feels like things are really falling apart. But it strangely enough, I think what we're witnessing the end of one era and the beginning of another, and that always like constitutes really violent change.
Sure.
And I think that what we're going through right now is because new systems. I mean, I'm looking at like all the wonderful things that are taking place. Like just in the news today, Viktor Orban, who's like a very right wing kind of governed, and he was elected out of office in Hungary, and it was like a large margin, and like almost all the entire country turned out, and people were celebrating, and there was like a great deal of happiness, and like I just keep seeing on small local levels.
Right.
I see people doing really interesting, fun things in their own respective areas, and I see people pulling together, and I see more community-based things happening, and I see people wanting, like, ultimately I think we are who we are, which is we're community. We're still communities. Mm-hmm. And I still think that counts for something. And right. The power of people in a group doing something with like a shared agenda for greatness.
Right.
I think it always wins out in the end. We do have a collective fatalism about ourselves, but I often find that we lose sight of the fact that the greatest miracles come in the smallest kind of contained areas.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think, yeah, we're due. I think we're due for some greatness. It's
yeah.
just we just gotta look at the little small areas in which they're happening. But they're there.
One thing that I watched recently, and I've been bringing this up with a lot of friends here and there. I've been watching this documentary series on Netflix about the Cold War, and
Mm,
which I remember some of it, kind of. I'm a little Gen Xer as well, and um, not only do I remember it, but I remember being a kid and hearing people talk about eras from before I was born. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah.
one of the things that really blew my mind was there was an episode that dealt with the falling of the Berlin Wall,
Mm,
which I do remember happening, and um, I remember it being a big deal, but I also remember my parents like sitting on the couch watching it, like hugging each other, like
yeah,
them being astounded because it was something that they knew their whole lives. You know what I mean? But anyway,
yeah.
the mind-blowing stuff about the fall of the Berlin Wall, according to the historians that were interviewed for this documentary, is that even though there were growing protests in East Berlin at the time and other countries around there, definitely Poland and some other
Yeah.
places that were part of the Soviet Union. This is incredible, Otis. This still blows my mind. The Berlin Wall actually fell down by accident. It,
Yeah.
it like I never had heard this section of history. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
a bureaucrat got on the news because a lot of people were asking, like, because the youth were asking for wider travel amongst countries in the Soviet
Yeah,
Union.
exactly. That was it.
A bureaucrat came on and wasn't supposed to say it's going to happen, but did, and then so people just started taking to the streets and leaving, and then it was a slip. We talk about slippery slopes of bad things. This was a slippery slope of a good thing, Like
Well,
I
that's
was,
yeah.
and I'll be honest, I was watching this episode stoned, which is sometimes what I do late at night. And
No,
yeah,
no.
and it really floored me in a way that the last time I watched something like that stoned at night was an episode of, have you ever seen Love on the Spectrum?
No, I haven't. They've actually got a show like about for people that are on the spectrum for like dating.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild,
It's a
man.
reality show, which you always call into question. You always wonder how orchestrated these reality show things are.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not the. I think there's a new season that I haven't tapped into yet. But the last episode of the previous season, there were a few connections that were made, and it really. There was one point where you saw this guy's mind being blown of like a woman saying, "Yes, let's date. Like, we found each other," and you could tell that he was like stunned that it like happened. You know what I mean? And then there was another couple that broke up, but they had like one of the most adult breakups. And the camera's there, and I'm sure sometimes the camera forces maybe a little bit more
Yeah.
civility, I guess, maybe, who knows, but they like handled this breakup so well. It was like it was like incredible. So yeah, the Cold War, I mean, we've not you and me personally, but humanity has lived through some shit. Did you watch the space shuttle, the Artemis 2 landing?
I watched well, I watched a little of it on
Yeah,
YouTube. I was really happy for them.
yeah,
I mean, given everything that's happening right now, it
right,
was still a significant event and it
right,
was still something to talk about.
yeah, yeah,
And I was actually genuinely happy because moreover than not, they came across as an entirely like these are people, we're talking about people that are astronauts, but they're also these human beings with like different interests. And like I think we're getting like when the first space mission or the moon mission happened, we were still this very much this it's a Cold War mentality. And
right,
this one felt different because it really felt almost it felt kind of unifying. I mean, when I realized like I've lived long enough that I've seen some pretty scary like we're near the brink of World War III kind of events,
sure,
and
sure, And
Yeah,
there's
we know.
probably stuff we're not aware of either.
Yeah, but there's always these little things that are happening
Yeah, yeah.
that take place, and I mean, I kind of like it because I think that it's a little bit of chaos, and as long as there's that little tiny smidge of chaos, that little domino that or that screw that falls in just the right direction at the right time,
Right,
or and I think what like when you mentioned the Berlin Wall, that's how that was entirely a mistake. That
right,
wasn't happen, and but I love that we're living in a time where the one little event, one little thing can just throw everything out of whack.
right.
And that's my gran used to have a great expression. She
Mhm.
said she said man plans and God laughs.
I didn't mean to laugh when you cued me to, I'm not trying to claim I was God there.
No,
I
yeah,
it was an unintentional reaction, but that is a very great
it
saying.
is.
It's
It
great.
is, and it reminds me of just like there's still, oh my god, there's still so much magic. I missed the opportunity to meet Alan Moore, the writer who did V for
Yeah,
Vendetta. I've still got a chance to come see him in Nottinghamshire,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
we had a great conversation on magic. So yeah, I
Oh,
still
yeah.
believe that I believe that there's still people out there that are working chaos magic for us. Again, whoever they are, bless their lives.
I hear you. I've seen some of his I don't know how he comes up on my YouTube algorithm, but I've seen him talk about magic and the magic of words a few times in
Yeah,
some clips. That's right, you're in, Scotland, isn't that right? Are
that's
you
correct. Yeah, I am. I am just outside of Edinburgh in
Yeah,
a smaller city called Dunfermline, which is actually the home to where Big Country started and originated. The band Big Country
oh, yeah.
originated from here, and it's also the birthplace of Andrew Carnegie, who founded the American steel industry.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, what's, Are you I think the last time we spoke, you were thinking about coming back to the States or just heading somewhere else. Is that
Well, we're still contemplating it.
Yeah,
But as it stands now, there's some interesting things that are happening. So I think what I'm doing is I think it's one of those things where you just wait and see because the events that are taking place are quite interesting. So I think for the time being, we're
yeah.
staying put here in Scotland,
Mhm.
and I will eventually make my way. But I'm to Canada. If I'm coming back
Oh,
anywhere, I'll be moving. I'll be moving to Canada, and I'll be moving to Nova Scotia because Halifax reminds me a lot of when I went to school in New England, and
yeah.
the
Mhm.
best parts like that adventure. That was a lot of fun, and
Yeah,
so Halifax reminds me a lot of that. But like I said, we're just going to wait and see because things are getting really interesting right now.
right.
So I'm learning to be a better receptor of the signs when the universe sends me a sign because a
Yeah.
lot of the times I kind of ignored it, and now I think I really need to pay attention and things are pointing in a certain direction. So I'm gonna just see what happens.
Well,
Um,
you're probably
yeah.
attuned to more magic now than you used to be. It definitely sounds like it, and I
I'm
think
feeling it. I'm feeling my pace, I think,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm loving the things that life is throwing up some not obstacles. Life
Right.
is throwing up some curves, like some curves, and it's like this direction, and it's
Ride
like
ride those
you know,
curves, man.
yeah, ride those curves. I'm learning it's more like a wave rather than um like like a lot of people will look at it like kind of like is a sort of like a star or a metric, and I see them more now as waves, like on an
Yeah,
ocean. And you just surf those bad boys in. It's
right.
we're having fun though.
That's great. You know, earlier you talked about how, as you've gotten older, and I'm someone who also have gotten older, uh,
Mhm.
not to brag, but I've gone that direction as well. But
I
I
was
think,
into it before it was cool.
yeah, yeah, it's I don't know. One thing I've been recently kind of pondering about is to like, why do the bad times stay with us more so than the good times. You know, it
because
like
we're more inclined because you know, it leads back to that old expression: if it bleeds, it leads.
mhm,
If something, if we're affected by something that's bad,
right,
we tend to never forget it,
right,
right? Because it was so cataclysmic. And then when something really good happens, we have a tendency to forget it too quickly
right.
and dismiss it. And I'm learning that, you know, it's all well and good, but let's celebrate those little milestones. I've learned to celebrate the milestones of things that I've been doing, and I've gone across my life and realized that it's far more interesting and far more fascinating than I thought it would be. And I used to really give myself short shrift, and because you know, oh, my peers or my colleagues are, you know, way ahead of me in this particular regard. But then a lot of my peers and colleagues have never seen as much of the globe as I have. And I've got to live in some very interesting places. And I've done a lot of really like left of field things. And now I find myself being able, when I left like regular employment and haven't been in regular employment for some time now,
Mhm,
um, it's taken me a while to find my feet, but I have. And it's remarkable because it's a job I love doing. I like helping people
mhm,
and I get to help people and I get rewarded for it. And I also get to do things that I'm really, really good at.
yeah,
And there's not many people that have the opportunity to say that. So yeah, you know, you're learning, you're learning as you go along how you sort of manifest slash go with the flow, you know.
mhm.
And it's a wonderful feeling when you're old enough to appreciate, you know, that you can follow those rhythms a little better than you could when you were younger.
Yeah, yeah. I also am finding that I'm getting a little bit better at living now that I've been alive a little bit longer. Like, the more better you
It's
life.
like yeah, I'm accessing the back pages of the instruction manual
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I was speaking of, like, traveling, I was just in Australia recently.
Ooh.
I did a festival in Adelaide, Australia, and I turned 50 while I was there,
Yay.
which was, um in some ways, I was like, uh I mean, it was fun to do something monumental for my 50th. It would've been great to be here with my partner, but she was also just like, you know,
Mm.
she's a teacher, so she's, like, in the middle of school, and she's like, I'm busy with classwork," you know what I mean? So, but it one thing that I thought about while I was there is that, like, I was living an experience that younger, if I saw somebody else living that experience, I would have felt very resentful that I was
Mm.
currently doing that, you know? Um, and, so I don't know, it hopefully gave me a little bit more of a modest perspective. I've never seen Nova Scotia. I've heard it's absolutely beautiful, though. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many beautiful parts of the world.
Yeah, there's tons of places, but the thing is really lovely that I've been doing it because I get online and I just like if I want to know something about something, I just you know type it in. But
Yeah,
it's really the globe has opened up so much. And then I thought there were like maybe about 7 or 8 countries I went, and now there's like about 25 countries that I
mhm,
want to travel to before it's all said and done with,
yeah,
you know, try out fruits there
right.
and go to like different like places in the country and learn more about it. And it's wonderful. And every day another country opens up. It's a lot of fun because you only start to realize as you get older how narrow your scope is. You really should widen
Sure.
it more,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's an enjoyment to do so.
Yeah, I try to look upon people who have different perspectives than mine. I try to not look at them as the opposition, but and maybe pity is the wrong word too, but sometimes it's kind of sad how close-minded people are. Um,
Yeah,
hurting
yeah. I
themselves. They
mean,
also hurt other people too in some cases, but um, I don't know. It's I feel like the more open we are to people, the more they can open up too. But
Yeah, I learned something really important
yeah,
about 2 years ago, and it
okay,
was more of a sort of a sort of a duh. How did I not recognize this kind of
sure.
thing? But it was going back to my psychology course, and my professor said to me at the time, he said that once you understand why people do what they do, that you'll never get mad at them again.
Oh,
And
sure.
you want to, yeah, you want to stay mad at people
Right,
until you ultimately. And when I took the journey, it helped me.
right.
And like getting therapy. And the one thing I learned out of my therapy was hurt people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if they're in pain, they're going to take it out on someone else. And the best thing that you can do, the most revolutionary thing, especially for men, the most revolutionary, the most raddest thing, the most punk thing you can do
Right,
is is to heal yourself, is to heal your trauma,
right.
and to get there and go, this is mine, I own it, I'm going to deal with it, and then get it fixed, because you stop a line. And I mean, it's such a powerful thing to do
Yeah,
that it frees you up emotionally, and you can do a lot of work on yourself in a short amount of time. And you get over your egos and your fear, and you push forward. And a lot of the times, I'm scared out of my mind 90% of the time, but I've managed. I've become like this. I don't know, man. I think the best way I can describe it is like, I don't know, like a Demu James Bond. I'm able to
mhm,
figure my way out of death traps,
right, right.
and it's I'm so excited about how I was able to quote manifest, think my way towards the world I want to have.
Mhm.
And every day I come up with another solution to fix it and to bring everything together.
Yeah,
And it gets exciting because like you sort of like you get nervous, things get tighter, and like there's time to pay the bills, and you're
right,
trying to figure out a way to make it happen, and then all of a sudden, bam, it all comes together.
right.
And I've been doing it successfully now for the past 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. Well done. Good job. Uh,
Yeah.
what uh, do you want to leave us with any sort of like hopes for the future that you have? Things that you're
Oh
working
God.
on, or like some specific things that I think it's fun to speak some specific hopes.
Well, I'm actually pursuing my certification in music therapy. I
Mm,
already have, thanks to Reverend Kelly, I have a certification in cannabis spirituality, and
nice.
my idea is to set up a online music therapy practice where I can work with people, especially people who are cannabis consumers,
Hmm.
and help them heal their damage from one perspective using music therapy. And
Right.
we can create playlists together to help people to heal themselves, and to also help with just like relaxation. And you might want to try to put something together where it helps you stimulate thinking or creativity. So
Yeah.
all sorts of things that we can do like that. I'm just going to continue. I decided to just take a hiatus from doing music professionally, because
Hmm.
I've been trying that for a while, and I'm just going to just do things for the fun of it, and just put together music just out of the sheer joy of it.
Right.
And I'm going to focus on music therapy and cannabis and sustainable travel and cannabis tourism, because I think those are like, we're headed to some interesting times right now,
Yeah.
and I think they're only going to get more interesting. And I think this is where I need to like get up and prepare myself,
Yeah.
and and like kind of like Cain and Kung Fu Man wander the earth and soak up knowledge and things like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not I'm not super familiar with that show. I do remember reruns here and there
Yeah,
when I was a kid, but I'm very familiar with Samuel L. Jackson talking about it from Pulp Fiction. So
yeah.
I feel like that has been imprinted in my brain. So I'm like Kane adjacent. There's times when I'm walking around and I think about that. Like when I was walking around Australia, I was like, wow, I'm just like walking around at a different point of the earth. And I'm also trying to have more fun with it too. Like it's the pursuit of our wants that we can cut ourselves and harm ourselves, psychically and emotionally. And lately now I'm reminding myself, it's like, have fun with it. And if it's not fun, then you're
Exactly. Just enjoy
smart.
yourself and know that like when you make the mistake, you can make like it's just like Grand Theft Auto, man. You can make 1 billion of them and you'll just show back up at the hospital.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Otis, thank you for joining me and us. And
hey, Sean, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I
Is
appreciate
there
it.
anything you'd like to, any links or plugs or anything that you'd like to?
Nah, I'm pretty much like I'm just on LinkedIn. If you want to come in and hook up over there and have a chat with me and talk shop and whatnot, I'll be on there. And I'm also on Blue Sky as well.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Otis, thank you so much. Safe travels. I know we'll talk soon before you do your next move. So it's great to catch up with you. All right, Kelly, let's see what other sort of interesting transmissions we have from beyond the Matrix, and then we'll bring in our next guest.
G Room Media, specializing in multimedia, live streaming, green screen, 4K capture and edit, motion graphics, drone video, educational seminars, and much, much more.
Hey, welcome back. All right, thank you, Kelly. And our producer, Kelly, has things that she's got in the works as well. I know she has some cooking with cannabis events coming up, so perhaps at some point she'll drop in and talk about that. But let's see if our friend Valerie Apperson is present and ready. It looks like there she is. Hey, there she is. She's waving.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good. You're live. This isn't pre-recorded video, right?
I'm here now. Are you here now?
Now, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Time travel in motion.
Yeah, we're synced up. Well, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. What's
Could we give a congratulations to Peter Moyar of Hungary?
Oh yeah, of course. I did. Otis brought that up, and I forgot to share with him that I saw a lot of great photos of citizens gathering and celebrating, and like it's freaking cool to see. It's yes.
And this is love Otis, love him so much, but for different perspectives.
Yeah.
The notion that everything, and I may be mischaracterizing this, but that you need to have fun with it.
Yeah.
I think it can be a little bit short-sighted because nothing's more fun than winning.
Yeah.
And if it takes a long time, it's like delayed gratification.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I think he was talking about his music pursuits specifically. I don't know if he
Oh,
was talking about like,
he wasn't talking about me and Hungary.
he might have he was. I don't know when, but he did. So you might be right.
He
Everything
might be.
kind of blends together. I'll be honest, I forgot when that weed brownie kicked in that I had. I have to make more. I'm kind of bummed out. I have to
Yeah.
procure some ingredients. It's always
Yeah.
fun when I have them at the ready.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You make your wheat brownies. They work really well,
hmm
and they're also very crumbly.
Yeah, well, they don't travel well because they live in my freezer. So that's the problem. You need to be here to have them.
It makes it hard to measure because I'm like, this crumble.
Oh yeah.
Surely it's the same. But
They crumble,
just
they crumble for me once in a while too. But the reason that I keep them in the freezer is because you usually make a ton. That's the.
You like to batch it.
Yeah. All right. Well, can I show you a real quick thing?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really done anything with these yet, but I'm going to start offering people memberships into the Secret Time Travel Society. So this is like a draft of a frameable thing.
Yeah. Thank you for trusting us with that.
Oh yeah. It is the draft, but
what's the criteria?
I think it's just that you have to send me like $5 in your address. I'm putting it up to trust that like, but it does say it could be revoked at any time on here. It can be revoked in the past, present, or future. So
I mean, it's a little authoritarian, but if it includes time travel, I might be on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to have some checks and balances.
With time travel, you think checks and balances?
Probably. Well, my theory is that we're not going to have Time Cops, which is a film about time travel. Well, one thing is that I think every movie gets time travel wrong.
Oh, really?
And so whenever people bring up like time travel movies, it's like, well, it's not going to be like that. You know what I mean? So.
Internet cut off.
Oh, well, my point is that we're not going to have time cops. I think we're going to have time moms. We're going to have time moms. Yeah, people to just be like, I don't think you should do that.
I like this.
Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed if you know, I'm not mad.
What do you think Meet the People is?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Can I explain Meet the People?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I host a show called Meet the People, which is sort of a play on Meet the Press, which is the longest broadcast show in television history in the United States. And so after Meet the Press on Sundays, I do Meet the People, and I call the politicians who lied on Meet the Press and the politicians who have lied throughout the week. And it expanded to also giving thank you notes to any Republican that does anything right.
Yeah.
Strategically calling representatives and senators and different, municipality things to try to circumvent certain bills, just to let them know that we're aware.
Yeah.
Like today was and this is what I'm saying, like the delayed gratification of like someday Arizona Senate Bill 1421 is not gonna fucking work, and it's gonna be so much fun when it doesn't, because they want to take away the ability for immigrants to have bank accounts. And I'm just like, no.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's fucking annoying. And so like I keep like it's like all consuming, because there's so many things that they're trying to like get past us, and they're petty. And so I want to be petty.
Yeah.
And that's why it's cool that Hungary isn't impressed by JD Vance, because he's fucking stupid.
Right. I mean, it is silly that he went there.
It
And,
is.
I mean, nice try. But
Yeah.
have you ever? How long have you been doing Meet the People now? And have you actually got anyone on the phone, or is it mostly messages? Which the messages are still fun and valuable, you know.
Okay, so this is a thing that isn't clear to people about Meet the People, is that
Yeah.
Meet the People is a set of voice messages on Sunday,
Yeah.
but I call them throughout the week.
Ah.
And
you're
I
not out
do get staff once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's also like, if you don't answer my phone calls,
Hmm.
then I control the narrative on Meet the People.
Right. Right.
So we're going to talk, or I'm just going to leave you voicemails in public, and you have no
Right.
say as to whether or not I'm right or not.
Yeah.
And it also, for the time travel thing, it like, I have no clue if it does anything really. Like, I can sort of like intuitively feel shifts
Hmm.
because, homie, that's inertia, Mac Miller.
Right.
That's a deep cut. But I have seen like my Instagram views go up and down very drastically. Like, you got 1 view versus 13,000 views.
Hmm.
And that's been going on for a number of years. So I don't know what the actual numbers are ever. I just know
Right.
that I keep doing it. And that there's just something so insulting about trying to get things past us,
Yes.
thinking that we're going to be so distracted that we're not going to notice something like Section 230,
Right. Right.
Section 230. Section 230 is important because, and I called Democrat Amy Klobuchar about this today too, because they're making it out to be something that's like cracking down on big tech.
Yes.
Like you need to be more sensitive with your content and moderate harder. And the thing is that none of the way the internet works would work if Section 230 is sunsetted. Like what you and I are doing right now would not be allowed, because StreamYard as a platform would be held responsible for everything that you, Otis, every commenter. They would be legally responsible for every single word that everybody said.
Hmm.
Section
Instead of
230,
right.
right. So Section 230 removes that like notion that an internet platform is like a newspaper.
Yeah.
I used to feel that way too, especially during January 6th, but I don't anymore.
Hmm.
And then that consolidates the moderation even harder around
Yeah.
so it's not cracking down on big tech. And that's my whole spiel about Section 230. I'm pretty sure there's penguins behind it. We had a whole penguin thing.
Hmm.
Try to keep it light, Sean.
I will. I promise. How do you prefer people tune in to watch Meet the People? What's the best way? I know you said the numbers, the views have been tweaked from.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's been tweaked, and it's also like a ton of work.
Right. Right.
And so like I haven't, like, I wanted to do a StreamYard everywhere, but right now all I'm doing is streaming it live on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, which is at Val is a person.
Hmm.
At Val is a person. Okay. So I stream it live there. I try to aim for 1:00 today, 5:30, because I was sad.
Yeah.
And then I upload it to YouTube later. And I would love it if I could stream on YouTube, so that people could interact and comment.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me to call Ted Cruz and tell him he's a piece of shit,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Teddy Boy, which was one of the highlights. I love when people interact. But yeah, so right now it's Instagram, Val is a person, and then I upload it later to YouTube.
Okay. I've got 2 ideas that I'll share with you. And I mean, maybe I'll have more eventually, who knows? But because, as you've shared with me before, it seems like your views go up and down depending on when you check on them. Sometimes you have a ton, sometimes you have none. I think you should make a little sign that says please share, and like just every 10-15 minutes, like put it on the screen and tell people to please, if you're watching this, please share this. And then the other idea I have, because if you're getting a lot of shares, I think you'll be able to see those immediately rather than after the fact. And the other idea is, I think you can make a bunch of free calls during an episode, but then for a $5 donation, I will call Ted Cruz and call him a piece of shit. Like every episode, you could have a monetized, like higher echelon thing. And it's
I mean, I would do it for free, so yeah.
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 I don't know, like just put that out there for like the more fun one, like one or two fun ones an episode. Like, hey, if you donate. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah,
well,
that sounds good.
I mean, we're all just figuring shit out, like
We are. And I'll check out Rigor of Angels. I looked it up right now.
Oh yeah.
It's cool, yeah.
It's a good book. It was recommended to me like a while ago, and I just happened to find the audiobook. So I'm trying to push through it. I also got a Queens library card a week ago.
Ooh.
You live in Brooklyn. I'm sure you have a Brooklyn library card, but you're allowed, as a New York City resident, you're allowed to get a Manhattan library card and a Queens library card. The reason I got a Queens library card is I think they have a better like audiobook platform, like that you can use with your library card. So
Very nice.
yeah, I think we're also allowed to get Library of Congress cards, which I think you have to be in person to take stuff out there, but that'd still be a cool thing to have.
I want to start doing like in-person meetings, which is something that I would need some help with.
Like at libraries?
No, at a actual Congress, because like you can schedule meetings, like you're allowed to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like you can schedule tours, you can schedule meetings, you can try. You know what I mean?
That sounds like a fun plan for the future. Yeah. I asked Otis if he had any like.
Otis is great, by the way. I didn't.
He is. Do you have any hopes for the future? The near future?
Near future.
I think it's good to have these big hopes and dreams and speak them. You know what I mean?
Big or small?
Big and small, or small, whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, I hope that perhaps I could sell some art to fund Meet the People. I hope that we can make it to the midterms, and that the idea that you had with the Berlin Wall kind of happening on accident can happen with all the butterfly effects that all of us have in the fuck this, no, we want democracy, we're not falling for this shit.
Right.
And my also huge hope is a little painting that, I think when this is all over, and the kids get out of those camps and they need a visual reminder that it's over, I think this could be a nice addition to our current branding. And the painting is called A New Flag, and it's fucking missing. So make it famous, Canada. Right. I love you. I don't know.
It's possible we can find it someday. I don't know if you know this, but when Paul McCartney was a Beatle, he lost a bass of his that was stolen, that he loved, that he wrote a ton of hit songs on, and then he just found that bass within the last year.
Was it like in his apartment the whole time? Because that
No,
would be
somebody else.
so embarrassing.
No, somebody else had it. It was, I don't know the whole story, but it was some convoluted thing of like it, I don't know. Somebody else had it, and then it made its way back.
Yeah, it was here. And it was still wrapped up from Art on the Ave, the thing it was in all last summer. So whatever. But anyways, this has been great.
Yeah.
And you're great, and Otis is great, and shout out to our producer Kelly.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Kelly, do you want to give us a quick video to watch just as
but still shout out.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Let's see if we have anything.
Why do you think your mommy or daddy are always telling you, don't put that in your mouth? Let's find out.
Hi, kids. Why are we on television anyway? We're here to tell a little story about why you shouldn't put things into your mouth when you don't know what they are, and why you should never take anything a stranger tries to give you.
Why not?
Because if you ate somebody else's medicine, some bad food, or some poison, you could get very sick.
Ugh, I don't want to be sick.
And that's why before you eat anything, you should always ask someone you love if it's okay.
Okay, I love you. Can I eat the guitar?
No, but you can help me sing a song about eating things that don't belong inside you.
Okay, I wasn't really hungry anyway. Well, wait, maybe a little bit.
Okay, everybody, if you see something that you want to eat, before you do anything, remember this song.
Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you put it in your mouth.
Don't you stuff it in your face.
Don't stuff it in your face.
Though it might look good to eat.
Though it might look good to eat.
And it might look good to taste.
And it might look good to taste.
You could get sick.
Ick.
Real quick.
Ick.
Real sick.
Real ick. Don't you put it in.
What do you think about that?
The message hits home.
Well, you know where that came from, so yeah, you're following the rules.
Look at China. Do you know that vapes, they all have microphones?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they do. It's how they detect if somebody's sucking in. I'm pretty sure. Fact check me, but I'm pretty fucking sure.
I would fact check you now, but I don't want to disregard the show since we're live. So if maybe somebody sees this, they can
That's just giving me an out if I'm wrong, Sean.
All right. Well, I mean, this isn't a fact checking kind of show either. It's also a show called Secret Time Travel Meeting. So it's like, who knows what goes on.
There could be microphones in there in the future. That's
true. Yeah. There's a microphone right here that hopefully is, I don't even know if this is plugged in. I think do I sound louder?
A little bit. But the reason I'm so fascinated with the microphone thing in the vape is that every microphone can also be a speaker. And I've got this like dream-like sculpture in my brain of like a tree with all the vapes I've ever smoked, which I have been saving because you shouldn't just throw away batteries. Mm-hmm. And that maybe they like whisper things. I don't know. And they can blink too. The circuitry inside these things, quite fascinating.
It sounds like an art project in the near future.
Yeah, exactly.
You're close. If you have a bunch, you're close
to quitting. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
You can figure out how to rewire those things. Look, I don't know where it is. I have some. It doesn't matter. It's it would have been.
Make?
I made a little tiny theremin that I bought a kit off of Amazon, and I don't know where it's. I don't know where it is. So
that's really cool, dude. I've always theremin.
I didn't learn anything from it. It really was like put this wire here, put this wire here. It was like I'm just following instructions. It was like building a piece of furniture. So I don't know what I learned, but I did it.
Well, you have it around to contemplate upon, and you might look at it and have a reaction someday.
Actually, it's right here. I did find it. Let's see if
it might make something make sense later.
Here we go. Ready? It's picking up the bottom of my finger, unfortunately. Here.
That's so cool. You could put like different objects and see if they make a sound.
Maybe.
Put
Oh.
pieces of paper with different words.
It seems like, yeah, it seems like the lighter makes a different sound.
Seems
There you
like infinite fun to me, brother.
Yeah. Hey, well, I found it, so hooray me.
Okay.
There it is. Cool. All right. Well, we have like 4 minutes left.
We got like 4 minutes.
Oh yeah. Here's a great question. Do you upload We the People or Meet the People on LinkedIn? You're a big LinkedIn fan.
I am a big LinkedIn fan because of the reach that I can get with the network that I have, which is just if you ever have like a powerful boss, friend him on LinkedIn and then start friending all his friends, and it's just
Oh yeah.
that's the whole thing. It's not a big trick, but it takes some time.
Well, the trick is time.
The trick is time. That's what I'm saying.
But
Delayed
you've already planted some LinkedIn seeds. You've already put in the effort. There's flowers to still be made.
There is. If I can find this fast enough.
Mm-hmm. Is it your retirement?
No, it's a poem called All Enemies, which I have been posting on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe I tag the military. And perhaps I can be forgiven for that because of a little family history. But the poem goes like this. Is it cool if I fill up some time with a poem?
Yeah. What's
All
the title? Say the title first. I know
Okay.
you know
It's
you're
called All Enemies. There is a ship chained to a drowning weight circling a drain. In one reality, the sailors cut the chain, turn around full force ahead. In another, the sailors wait for permission from the owners of the chain. The children back home cry out, the wives get terrorized, veterans get kidnapped, they wait. Who dare break a chain, one single year chain? The risks are too great. Everything fought for, everything gained, mere fool's gold because of a fool's gold chain. How long do you wait until it's not home of the brave? Off like pirates while your own land gets raped. I mean, you really gotta boss these guys around.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be subtle with military folks. Like, your land's getting raped, yo. Right. Yeah.
Well, this is maybe a longer. We should have led with this, maybe. But did you see video of that guy who burned down a warehouse in California?
Ugh, I know. I hate that it's to this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you pushing people this hard?
Right.
Like I get it, but I shouldn't have to get it.
Yeah. I think part of it is that people have this assumption that all pressure makes people stronger, but yeah, it's too much.
Did anybody get hurt?
Nobody got hurt.
Well, then it's just destruction of property. Free G, I don't care.
I think people felt bad. I think people who lost money in that warehouse fire probably felt bad. So, but nobody got hurt. Nobody got physically hurt.
Okay. Well, let me just clarify this. Free Luigi, because I think just take one L. Just take one.
Yeah.
You're like the piece of things.
Right.
Just take it on the chin because you know what you did.
I get it.
And as far as the warehouse, no one was hurt, and property is not human life.
Replaceable. Yeah. All right.
Property.
I think we're at the end. We're at 59 minutes and 30 seconds.
Peaceful, folks. All right. Thank you for having me.